Welcome back, learners. This session of management is going to be about planning and execution of the performance management process. As we have seen how the performance management process happens and its various stages, let us understand how the planning and execution actually happens on the ground. Before that, I would like to quote something. This is by Scott Adams and he has given the Dilbert principle. This principle says that in the theory, the performance review can be thought as a positive interaction between the coach and the employee, working together to achieve maximum performance. In reality, it's more like finding a dead squirrel in your backyard and realizing the best solution is fling it onto the roof of your neighbor. I leave the meaning to understand with you. Let's revise the definition of performance management. So, performance management is a continuous process of identifying, measuring and developing the performance of individuals and teams and aligning their performance with strategic goals of the organization. So, let's see what planning is. Performance planning has three major goals: results, behavior and development plan. Friends, whenever we are talking about if the performance is effective or not, it can be seen in these three aspects: results, behavior and development plan. So let's take an example. If you have gone to any storeroom and the sales representative comes to you. If he is very attentive, you will be pleased. If he is not attentive, you will feel that, oh, hasn't he been told how to behave with the customer? Yes. So here, although the customer is experiencing his behavior, that behavior is also part of his duty which he is depicting and which may not be an ideal or standard behavior as taught by or as given in training part by his organization. So, what is the result? This is something which is shown in the behavior. So, results are some accountabilities, sales, standards on which the performance of the employee can be rated. Behavior most of the times includes here the competencies or the communication which is done, like in this example how the salesman communicated to the customer, whether it is in verbal communication or non-verbal communication. So, it is more of competency, creating competencies and showing them through your behavior. The development plan, when the reviews are done by the managers, they further develop the plan to improve them. So, these are usually the broad areas of the employee for which he is responsible. Those are also the acceptable and non-acceptable levels of the performance. Most of the time, the cluster cases, that is, knowledge, skills and abilities are decided through development plans. So, these are the planning parts. Let's see, when we want to achieve these parts or achieve these three factors through results, like accomplishing results, we can say them like, yes, we had a target to raise our sales by 50% and we have achieved and so far. So, how these plannings will be achieved? So, to achieve the plans, there are two factors which must be present, and those are knowledge of the organization's mission and goals and knowledge of the job which is in the question. So, if you are saying that yes, the performance of XYZ executive is rated 7 out of 10, so that performance is rated on the scales which are necessary to evaluate that particular job profile. That has to be very well kept in mind. So, these are the two basic requirements, or we can say prerequisites for the evaluation of implementation of the performance management. So, how performance execution happens? It happens in 5 ways or 5 factors. Those are: first, the commitment to achieve the goal by the employee. the outgoing performance feedback and coaching, communication with supervisors, collecting and sharing the performance data, and preparing for performance reviews. Friends, these all 5 things have to be done on a regular basis, and the more frequent they are, the better efficiency and control comes to the performance management. That's what we call that the performance can be managed well. Let's see them one by one. Commitment to goal achievement. Friends, here the executives or employees are expected to be committed to achieve their goals. They are allowed to be active participant, and the proactive nature is expected from them. The employee should not wait for the final feedback or the reviews to come to him, and then he will revise his or improvise his performance. So, when employees are committed to achieving their goals, the performance can be ensured at the standard levels. Another is outperforming or outgoing the performance feedback and coaching. Friends, whenever we will talk about performance management, coaching and mentoring, these 2 terms are likely to be repeated often. One should not wait until the review comes, and that's why that is said that it should be outgoing. The employees are also not expected to wait until a serious problem develops so that they will have to seek the coaching. In other way, they should take a proactive role in soliciting the feedback themselves. Before the superior asks how are you performing or how are you feeling about your performance, the employee can reach out to his immediate supervisor and tell him that, okay, I am feeling this XYZ, like I am feeling good or bad about my performance of the day. And yes, coaching. And the coaching is always available, and when the MNCs or big corporates employ or engage mentors for a team or even a particular person as their mentor or coach, so that the performance can be enhanced for both the organization also and the person also, because the individual goal satisfaction is also very essential. Friends, for any organization, if we say that it is performing very well, it can be seen through few words, and they are job satisfaction, increasing production, and healthy culture at the organization. So, when feedback and coaching comes, it has to be on daily basis or at least a regular basis, which can be pre-decided by the team itself. Then, the execution also looks for the communication with the superiors. Burden must be communicated regularly. If an employee is feeling overburdened with his work, he or she is expected to communicate it immediately to the superior. Superiors are usually busy, but yes, there can be organized 5 minutes standing meetings every day or at the end or beginning of the day, wherein the daily activities can be decided and daily problems can be reported. Friends, whatever these points we are discussing, they are expected from both the managers and employees. The next point is collecting and sharing the performance data. Providing regular update to the superior is a part of this. This can be done about the goal achievement. Sometimes some organizations have goals for a week or day or 15 days or even months, and monthly or at those fixed intervals they can review whether the goals are achieved or not. But in some organizations like MNCs, BPOs, KPOs, the targets are set daily or even at hourly basis. Here they follow certain service level agreement when it comes to outsourced business, and the employees has to perform as per the requisites of the company who has outsourced the business to them. So when a company outsources, it has some certain expectations and standards which are formally communicated to the performing company and which are often called as service level agreements. So these are often very pressured activities wherein the employees also might have an hourly or minute-wise performance standards expected to be done. So in these cases, they have hourly or daily reports wherein the performance is administered, and here the employee or the end user of that particular process can immediately communicate to his boss that or superior that yes, these are the goals achieved or these are not achieved. Even the manager is expected to keep an eye on the time framed objectives or certain tasks for the day. So the collecting and sharing of performance data can be seen in both behavior and results. So there are certain informal ways also through which the managers or the employees can record their behaviors. Last is preparing for performance reviews. The employees are expected to prepare themselves for these reviews. Friends, when the feedback session happens, it is often followed by coaching from the superior so that the feedback can be either appreciated or told to be improvised in certain ways if needed. So, I will again tell that employees are not expected to wait until the cycle of whole performance review completes. They are expected to be proactive. They should engage in outgoing and realistic self-appraisals as well. Because when appraisal happens, they happen both ways. They are self-appraisals also when the employee rates his own performance, and the same performance is also rated by the manager. There can be gaps in these performance ratings. Imagine that for a certain task, a single common task, both the performer and the observer are rating the performance. Any gaps are subject to the explanations and further study. The employees also helps to take immediate corrective actions by recording their performance, communicating it to superior and seeking help. There is also one method of performance management, that is having an informal records from the peers and customers. For this, let me give you an example that a big sales organization records the reviews for its salespeople from certain sources. Those are internal sources as well as external sources. And many a times these executives even do not know that their performance has been reviewed or the feedback has been generated from such sources. Like, suppose Mr. Amit is a sales executive and he sells the industrial equipments to various industrial customers. Now, when he is visiting for sales and striking his deals, whatever deals he is generating, those are recorded and communicated to the manager. The manager can ask him what was the challenge, how many deals you cracked for the day, what was your approach, what was the customer's approach, and likewise, how much will you rate yourself, whether you were able to struck the deal, what was the new challenge, etc. This manager can also ask him, and usually they ask that, okay, take an appreciation letter or a feedback form from your customer about your performance limited to that particular deal or his approach towards them. This is one way. Another way is this manager can also ask his vendors about his approaches formally or informally. So this is how from various informal and formal sources the data is being generated and it is recorded. Friends, for manager it is very much important that he records every good and bad performance of his subordinates on a regular basis. So this is about how the execution of the performance management process is happening, and to make it more effective, various steps are being taken. Now, this is although from both the sides as manager and employees, let's see what are the roles and responsibilities of these managers towards these 5 approaches. So first is when the manager or employee is committed to achieve goals, the role of the manager is to observe and document it. So observation and documentation is the role of manager at this stage. So what he can do, he can keep a track for both good and bad behaviors and all the challenges faced by the employees to achieve these goals, and how it can also be other ways that how fast they were able to achieve these goals. The second responsibility of the manager is keeping an update. So when we talk about the feedback and coaching about the ongoing performance, he can keep an update and revise the organization's initial objectives and standards, whether they are met or not. Key accountabilities which were given to the performer and how he has performed. It can be also the competency areas of the employee which are recorded, and they might not be directly related to his actual performance, but still they were noticeable and they has to be noticed. They should not go unrecorded, and that is why here the role of manager is very significant. The feedback. When the communication of the superior is happening, the manager is expected to keep a record of the feedback on progression towards goals and coaching, and also he can use this data to improve the performance. This is expected to be done on a regular basis. So the responsibility of the manager here is about recording and giving feedbacks. Next is the resources. When we are talking about collecting and sharing the performance data, the manager is expected to study these resources and evaluate them. He should also have a trust and validation of these resources. These resources have to be valid, otherwise wrong data can be collected. So provide with the resources and opportunities is the role of manager here. He is also expected to tap the participation of the employees in various trainings, classes or special assignments can be given to these employees. In many of the employees, in many of the organizations, when new employees join, their joining procedure happens and induction process and minimal or the required training happens. Later on, after a certain year or a period of time, there can be some additional trainings which can be given to these employees. For example, in an MNC, Merck Global Services, when the employees join for a particular process, after a certain period, they are also given the opportunity to join in simple trainings of Microsoft Office, Excel, PowerPoint, Word and so on. These are very simple trainings, but these are helpful to enhance the overall performance of the employee so that he can use it in its career progression. So friends, it is not just a limited evaluation of the performance. The performance management is a broader aspect wherein the company also has a responsibility to allow its all employees to have a better career path with increased competencies. So whatever the resources are coming in, the manager is expected to tap them. And here, with this last point of preparing for performance reviews, which is expected by the employees, the duty of the manager becomes of reinforcement. Now, what he has to reinforce here is letting the performance be noticed and identifying the challenges and also the strengths of the employees. The data generated from here is very much important for the development plan, which can be designed by the superiors for the next level. So friends, this is about the performance management, planning and execution. I will bring you another management lesson in the next session. Till then, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.